There's a powerful saying that resonates deeply with me. True strength isn't always visible. When you look at someone, you might see their physical attributes or their outward confidence, but real strength lies beneath the surface. It's found in how we confront challenges, rise after setbacks, and refuse to let life's hurdles defeat us. You may sometimes feel like you're merely going through the motions, just surviving each day. But even in those moments, you are demonstrating remarkable strength. This strength isn't about lifting heavy weights or putting on a brave face. It's about persistence, resilience, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward, even when no one is watching. In this video, we will delve into 7 signs of inner strength, inspired by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These traits may not be flashy, but they are essential life skills that define what it means to be truly strong. More importantly, they will guide you on how to incorporate these Stoic lessons into your daily life, helping you find inner peace and lasting balance. If this message resonates with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need a reminder of their own quiet power, a friend, a loved one, or even a colleague. A small act can create a significant impact. So, are you ready to recognize and embrace the strength within you? Let's get started. 1. Mastering emotional control. Imagine this. You've spent weeks preparing for a crucial project, and everything seems to be on track. Suddenly, something goes wrong, or someone you trust criticizes you unfairly. How do you react? Many people let their emotions take over, responding with anger, frustration, or despair. It's a natural response, but reacting impulsively often leads to regret. Let me share a story about my boss, who exemplifies emotional control. He is not just a leader. He is a master at maintaining composure under pressure. When our project faced an unexpected setback, while everyone else panicked, he remained calm. He asked questions, sought solutions, and guided the team with clarity and focus. He felt the stress, but he chose not to let it control him. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Recognizing this gives you strength. Emotional control means focusing on what you can change and letting go of what you cannot. It's the calm within the storm, the strength that transforms chaos into clarity. Consider how often you've spoken words in anger that you wished you could take back. How many decisions made in frustration ended up making things worse? Emotions are powerful, and when unchecked, they can lead us astray. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To live freely, you must guide your emotions with reason, not be ruled by them. To cultivate emotional control, start with small, intentional steps. When frustration or anger arises, pause. Take a deep breath and give yourself space to think. This moment of pause is powerful. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Next, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If yes, redirect your energy towards solving the problem rather than fueling the emotion. At the end of each day, reflect on situations where your emotions got the better of you. What triggered them? How could you handle them differently next time? This practice builds awareness and resilience over time. Perspective is also crucial. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Often, what feels overwhelming in the moment becomes trivial in hindsight. Shifting your perspective reduces the emotional weight of temporary setbacks. Emotional control is not about being detached or emotionless. It's about understanding your feelings, choosing your responses, and remaining steady in the face of uncertainty. With this mastery, you'll find that life's challenges become less daunting and more like opportunities for growth. True strength lies not in the absence of emotion, but in the ability to guide it wisely. 2. Taking responsibility. You demonstrate true strength when you take responsibility for your actions. Picture this. You promised a colleague you'd finish part of a report by the weekend. Days pass, and with other pressing tasks, you miss the deadline. What do? Many might be tempted to make excuses, blaming a heavy workload or unforeseen circumstances. But taking responsibility means acknowledging your failure without hesitation. You own up to your mistake, apologize, and make it right. At first glance, this may seem like a small act, but it speaks volumes about your character. Responsibility is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about how you respond to them. Seneca wisely noted, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Mistakes are inevitable. They mark the end of one attempt and the start of learning. What defines you is whether you use those moments to grow. Taking responsibility requires courage. It's not easy to admit when we're wrong, especially in a world that often celebrates perfection. But let's face it, perfection is an illusion. We're all flawed, and we all stumble. True strength comes from facing those flaws head-on and choosing to make amends rather than hiding behind excuses. I once worked with someone who exemplified this beautifully. She was leading a major project, and an oversight on her part delayed a key milestone. Instead of blaming her team or circumstances, she addressed the issue with transparency. She gathered the team, admitted her error, and presented a clear plan to resolve the setback. Her honesty inspired trust and respect, not just because she took ownership, but because she showed us how to lead with integrity. When you take responsibility, you claim ownership of your life. It's an empowering act that reminds you that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your own story. Each mistake becomes a lesson, a stepping stone toward becoming wiser and stronger. The Stoics teach us that responsibility is a path to freedom. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you take responsibility, you free yourself from the weight of excuses and blame. You choose to act rather than be acted upon, shaping your future with deliberate intention. So, how can we practice taking responsibility in everyday life? Start small. If you forget to return a friend's call, don't make excuses. Apologize sincerely and set things right. When faced with criticism, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Reflect on whether there's truth in the feedback, and if there is, act on it. Remember, responsibility also means acknowledging your successes. It's not just about owning mistakes. It's about celebrating the times when your actions made a positive difference. This balance keeps you grounded, allowing you to grow without being weighed down by self-doubt or inflated by pride. Life will present countless moments where you must choose between blame and accountability. The easy path is often to shift the burden elsewhere, but the stronger path, the Stoic path, is to accept the truth, however uncomfortable, and use it as a catalyst for growth. Taking responsibility doesn't just make you a better colleague, friend, or partner. It makes you a better version of yourself. It builds resilience, fosters trust, and helps you create a life of integrity and purpose. In a world that often avoids accountability, those who embrace it shine as examples of what true strength looks like. 3. Facing fear. Fear is a universal emotion. It whispers doubts, paints worst-case scenarios, and tells you to step back. Yet, the strongest among us don't run from fear. They face it head-on. They see fear not as an enemy, but as a teacher, a stepping stone toward growth and transformation. Consider this. You're offered an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd. Fear tells you, what if you embarrass yourself? You hesitate, but then you take a deep breath and accept. In that moment, you've chosen growth over comfort. You've decided that the possibility of failure is worth the chance to learn and stretch beyond your current limits. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Fear often stems from how we perceive challenges, not the challenges themselves. Now think about this. You have an exam, an interview, or a difficult conversation ahead. Fear will try to stop you by highlighting what could go wrong. A strong person, however, recognizes this voice and chooses to act despite it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward regardless of it. Let's look at smaller, everyday moments. Imagine hesitating to express your opinion in a meeting for fear of judgment. You pause, then speak up. Or consider the hesitation to try a new hobby because you fear you won't excel. You try anyway. These are victories, however small, where fear is faced and strength is built. The Stoics believed in preparing for challenges before they arrived. Seneca advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Anticipate difficulties, but don't let them paralyze you. Instead, see them as opportunities to practice resilience." Practical strategies can help you face fears more effectively. Start with deep breathing. When fear grips you, steady your breath to calm your racing thoughts. Break tasks into smaller steps to make daunting challenges more manageable. Remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Facing fear isn't about being fearless, it's about action. Each time you confront what scares you, you become a little braver. You start to realize that fear is often an illusion, a barrier that dissolves when confronted. Life will always present challenges, but fear doesn't have to hold you back. See it for what it is, a signpost pointing toward growth. As Epictetus said, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Embrace them. Take that next step, however small it may seem, because on the other side of fear lies transformation, a stronger, wiser, and more resilient you. In every fearful moment, there is an invitation to rise. The choice is yours. 4. Embracing solitude. There's a unique kind of strength in being comfortable with solitude, a strength that is often misunderstood in a world that constantly demands connection and thrives on distractions. Being alone is sometimes seen as a weakness, a failure to engage. But solitude, when embraced, is a powerful ally. It forces you to confront yourself, to reflect, and ultimately to grow. Imagine a quiet evening with no notifications buzzing and no one seeking your attention. At first, the silence feels unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable. But slowly, the stillness becomes a mirror, reflecting truths about yourself that the noise of daily life often drowns out. This is the power of solitude. It strips away external influences and helps you understand who you truly are. Epictetus once said, "He who is not satisfied with the little is satisfied with nothing." Solitude teaches you to be content with what you have and to find fulfillment within yourself, rather than seeking it in external validations. In these quiet moments, you learn self-reliance, building the kind of resilience that no one can take away. Unlike loneliness, which is marked by a longing for connection, solitude is a choice. It's an intentional decision to step away from the chaos and nurture your inner world. This distinction matters. Loneliness drains, solitude replenishes. Consider the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his soul. In solitude, you create space to listen to your thoughts, examine your values, and align your actions with your principles. It's a sacred pause in the rush of life, a chance to recalibrate. But solitude is not always easy. It requires courage to face your thoughts without distraction, to sit with your doubts and fears rather than escape from them. Yet this process is transformative. It's in solitude that you build emotional strength, learning to soothe your anxieties and celebrate your victories without the need for external approval. Solitude also deepens your sense of purpose. When you step away from the expectations of others, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. You're no longer living to meet societal demands. You're living in alignment with your own goals and values. This authenticity creates lasting fulfillment. In today's fast-paced world, solitude is often seen as a luxury. But for the Stoics, it was essential. They understood that time alone wasn't about retreating from life. It was about preparing for it. By taking the time to strengthen your inner self, you become better equipped to handle challenges, build relationships, and contribute meaningfully to the world. To embrace solitude is to embrace the strength within yourself. It's a reminder that you are enough just as you are, As you sit in the stillness, you discover a profound truth. Strength isn't something you find in the world. It's something you cultivate within. In solitude, there's peace. In peace, there's clarity. And in clarity, there's power. The kind of power that allows you to face life's storms with calm and confidence. Choose to embrace it. 5. Staying positive in adversity. I have a younger sister who embodies incredible resilience. No matter what happens in her life, she greets it with a smile and unwavering positivity. She doesn't deny her struggles or pretend that everything is perfect. She chooses to see challenges as opportunities. It's no wonder people are drawn to her warmth. Her optimism inspires others to look for the silver lining in their own lives. Watching her, I often think to myself, this is what true strength looks like. Staying positive in adversity isn't about ignoring pain or dismissing hardship. It's about choosing to focus on what you can learn, what you can change, and what remains good, even in the darkest moments. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realizing this gives you strength. This mindset is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a testament to the power of perspective. Adversity is inevitable. Life, with its twists and turns, challenges even the best of us. But it is within these challenges that we discover who we truly are. When you maintain a positive outlook, you shift the narrative. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and instead become the author of your response. This doesn't erase the difficulty. It transforms how you engage with it. To stay positive in adversity is to practice gratitude. Gratitude reminds us that even amid struggle, there are blessings to count. It might be the support of a loved one, the lessons gained from failure, or even the simple fact that you've endured another day. Gratitude is not a denial of difficulty. It's a recognition that beauty exists alongside it. Another key to positivity is resilience, the ability to adapt and recover. Resilience grows each time you face a setback and choose to try again. It teaches you that adversity is temporary, a passing storm that can't define you unless you let it. As Seneca said, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Trials refine us, polishing the rough edges and revealing our inner brilliance. Positivity in adversity also comes from focusing on the present. Too often, we dwell on what went wrong or fear what might come next. But the Stoics remind us to anchor ourselves in the now. Epictetus advised, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have peace. When you embrace the present moment, you free yourself from the weight of the past and the worry of the future. Cultivating this mindset requires patience and intention. It means reframing negative thoughts, seeking solutions instead of dwelling on problems, and surrounding yourself with those who uplift rather than drain you. It also means acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you. Sadness, frustration, and fear are natural, but they don't have to dictate your actions. In adversity, positivity is a choice, a deliberate act of courage and strength. It doesn't mean pretending life is easy. It means recognizing that even when life is hard, there is still light to be found. With that light, you can keep moving forward, one step at a time. So when challenges come, as they inevitably will, remember this: the storm will pass, but the strength and perspective you gain will remain. Hold on to that truth and let it guide you through whatever lies ahead. 6. Setting boundaries. True strength often lies in the choices we make to protect our time, energy, and peace. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's about knowing your limits and honoring them. It's about saying no when you need to and yes to the things that truly matter. In a world that often demands more than we can give, boundaries are the shield that keeps us from burning out. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. To know yourself is to understand what you can give and what you need to keep for your well-being. Boundaries are a reflection of that self-awareness. Some might view setting boundaries as selfish, but the truth is, You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you give without limits, you deplete yourself, leaving little for others and even less for yourself. Saying no isn't rejection. It's an act of self-respect. Let me share a story. A close friend of mine once found herself overwhelmed by constant demands from colleagues, friends, and family. She rarely said no, fearing she would disappoint them. Over time, she grew exhausted and resentful. One day, she decided to make a change. She began setting clear boundaries, scheduling personal time, declining commitments she couldn't handle, and communicating her limits with kindness. The transformation was profound. Not only did she feel more energized, but the relationships that mattered most to her grew stronger. Boundaries don't just protect your energy, they also teach others how to respect you. When you set limits, you show the world that you value yourself, and in turn, people learn to value your time and presence. Boundaries also provide clarity. When you know where your limits are, decisions become easier. You no longer waste energy on things that drain you. Instead, you focus on what aligns with your goals and values. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Boundaries help you live with that kind of clarity and purpose. Practicing this kind of strength requires courage. There will be times when people push back, when they accuse you of being difficult or selfish. But remember, you're not setting boundaries to hurt others. You're setting them to protect yourself. Those who truly care about you will respect your limits, even if they don't always understand them. So, how do you begin? Start by identifying what drains your energy and what replenishes it. Take note of the commitments that bring you joy and those that leave you feeling depleted. Then make a plan to prioritize the former and minimize the latter. Communicate your boundaries clearly and with kindness, but stand firm when they're tested. In setting boundaries, you don't just guard your time and energy. You create space for growth, joy, and meaningful connections. You choose what deserves your focus, and in doing so, you align your life with your deepest values. The act of setting boundaries is not a wall. It's a doorway to a healthier, more balanced life. It's a declaration that your time and energy are precious and that you are worthy of the peace that comes from protecting them. This quiet strength is what allows you to thrive, no matter the demands of the world around you. 7. Lifting others up. True strength is not just about overcoming your challenges. It's about using your resilience to inspire and uplift others. A truly strong person doesn't compete to tear others down. They collaborate to build them up. They understand that lifting someone else doesn't diminish their light. It makes it shine even brighter. Think of a time when someone believed in you, even when you doubted yourself. Maybe it was a teacher who encouraged you, a friend who reminded you of your worth, or a mentor who pushed you to aim higher. Their belief in you became the spark you needed to persevere. This is the power of lifting others. When you support someone, you create a ripple effect of strength and confidence that extends far beyond that single moment. The Stoics remind us of the interconnectedness of humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." When you help others thrive, you enrich not only their lives, but also your own. A community built on mutual support becomes stronger together, weathering challenges that no individual could face alone. But lifting others isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as listening without judgment or offering words of encouragement. These small acts of kindness can transform someone's day, even their perspective on life. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I worked with someone who was struggling with a critical project. They were overwhelmed, doubting their skills, and unsure how to proceed. Instead of focusing on their challenges, I decided to step in. I sat down with them, offered constructive feedback, and helped break the tasks into manageable steps. Together, we worked through the challenges, refining each detail with care and determination. The result was remarkable. Not only did the project succeed, but it also transformed how my colleague viewed their own capabilities. They gained confidence, and our professional relationship grew stronger, built on mutual trust and respect. That moment taught me something invaluable. Lifting someone else doesn't just help them succeed. It fosters collaboration, strengthens connections, and creates shared victories that uplift everyone involved. The act of lifting others is not self-sacrifice. It's a demonstration of strength and empathy. It requires you to set aside ego and see the potential in others, even when they can't see it themselves. As Epictetus said, "Be helpful to those who are vulnerable, for you may one day find yourself in need of assistance." Supporting others is not only a gift to them, it's also a practice of humility and gratitude. Sometimes, lifting others means stepping back and letting them take the spotlight. Strong individuals don't need constant recognition. They find fulfillment in the achievements of those they've supported. This kind of generosity is rare, but it's also transformative. It builds communities where success is shared, not hoarded, and where collaboration replaces competition. To lift others, start with small, intentional actions. Celebrate someone's achievements without envy. Offer encouragement when someone faces a challenge. Share your knowledge and experience freely, knowing that wisdom grows when it is shared. The Stoic perspective reminds us that life is a shared journey. Seneca advised, "No man can live happily who has regard for himself alone and turns everything to his advantage." You must live for your neighbor if you would live for yourself. By lifting others, you create a legacy of strength that extends beyond your own life. Ultimately, lifting others is an expression of your inner strength. It's a commitment to building something greater than yourself, a community where everyone can thrive. As you empower others, you reaffirm your belief in the collective power of humanity, proving that true strength lies not in isolation, but in connection. This is the essence of lifting others, a quiet, powerful act of courage that strengthens bonds, creates opportunities, and leaves a lasting impact. In lifting others, you rise with them. Conclusion. As we draw this journey to a close, remember that strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate every day. True inner strength lies in mastering emotional control, taking responsibility, facing fears, embracing solitude, staying positive in adversity, setting boundaries, and lifting others. These aren't just signs of resilience. They are practices that shape a fulfilling and meaningful life. Stoic philosophy reminds us that the power to grow stronger lies within our reach. Each moment offers a choice: to react impulsively or respond wisely, to focus on what you can control, and to approach life's challenges with grace and determination. The beauty of these lessons is that they are timeless and universal. They can guide you through the chaos of modern life, offering clarity and peace even in the most trying moments. I encourage you to take these lessons to heart. Practice them daily, even in small ways. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. When you help someone else rise, you strengthen the community around you. These practices will not only build your resilience, but also inspire those around you to find their quiet strength. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How have you faced adversity, or how do you practice strength in your daily life? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's learn from and inspire one another. Together, we can grow stronger.